Mary Louise Day is a very strange case about a 13-year-old girl named Mary Louise Day who disappeared July 15th, 1981 and reappeared in 20 in 2003. And this case is bizarre. So Mary Louise Day was born February 19th, 1968 in Little Falls, New York. When Mary's parents were Charlotte Day and Charles Day. They ultimately ended up getting a divorce because Charlotte uh, was messing around with an army man named, what's his name? Uh, oh, damn. Hold on. William Howe. They married in 1975 and they had two kids together. I think Rosie and Williams. So in Charlotte's previous marriage, they had Mary, Kathy, and Sherry. So during this time, Charlotte couldn't take care of the kids. So they were in and out of foster homes, probably like every other year. And so when she met William Howe, he helped her get full custody. But what when I did my research, they had an ID special on this very bizarre case called Mary Day, the girl who died twice. And Sherry said in multiple accounts, one, that when Charlotte came to pick up all three girls, Kathy, Mary, and Sherry was around 6 years old. And she sat in Charlotte's lap. Sherry did. And she peed on her. And they turned the car around and she gave her back to her foster family, who later adopted her. Okay, the Waltz in New York. So, in another account, Sherry said that she hated her mom, so her mom just left her with the Waltz in, in one account. So, from 1975, from then on, because William was in the army, he bounced around from base to base. And then this is where he started beating Mary, physically abusing her. So CPS had to step in and take Mary, only Mary, and she's been in foster care in Hawaii. And then the house fly back to California, and then they get married from there. And then so uh, by 1981, this is when the events started to happen to Mary. So July 15th, 1981, the house, just the house, okay, Charlotte, William, Rosie, and William Jr. went out to dinner this specific day. And they just came home, and I guess the dog was really, really sick. And with Kathy's account, she said that Mary and her were out looking for the dog. But William said, my favorite dog was really sick, so I went and screamed at Mary. And I guess Mary talked back So I guess he thought she had something to do with it, with the dog getting sick. The mother told Kathy to go upstairs and shut her door. But Kathy said she did not shut her door. And she saw William beat Mary bad. Okay? This is what Kathy is saying. And then she woke up and Mary wasn't there anymore. Mary was gone. And when she asked Charlotte, "Hey, mom, where's Mary at?" She just said she ran away. We're not speaking about her anymore. Y'all, this case is going to get even more bizarre. So in 1983, Sherry never lost contact with her biological family, So they went up to New York and, she spent some time with them. And she asked Kathy one night and said, "Hey, where's Mary?" And Kathy told her, "Mom said don't speak about Mary at all. We don't talk about her." So Sherry said when she was old enough, she was going to find out what happened to Mary. Because I think at that time, in 1983, I think Sherry was 13 around this time. And so in 1992, that's when she said, "Hey, my sister's missing. I don't know what happened to her. She disappeared back in 1981, and that was it." The police told Sherry that nobody reported this girl missing. Nobody looked for her. There was nothing. Um, so that was in 1992. So in 2002 is when they opened an official investigation into the disappearance of Mary. But by then, damn, it's been 21 years since Mary had disappeared. So they basically had no leads. Everything dried up. So Kathy comes into the mix because, in one account, they said Kathy got kicked out of the house when she was 14 to go live on her own. So these accounts are kind of weird. So Kathy moved out and she said that her dad would not let her play under a Pacific tree in the backyard and that she could never go over there. And so the police have diver dogs and everything to go over there and look under the tree. So when they dug it up, they thought, "Oh, we found a dead body. We found her," but they only found a shoe. And Kathy said, "Hey, that shoe is what we wore when we were younger." But there was no body. So where where's Mary? So they hound the parents for about 6 months. Where's your daughter? Why you never reported her missing? The William, he told some lies saying that I reported her missing. I made a report. That was a lie. Mary Mary said that she went to go look for her daughter and that she called the police. That was also a lie. All these lies are just piling up and it's catching up to them. So after 6 months of hounding the parents of this little girl, Sherry makes a recording And then her mother, Charlotte, says, well, there's so many places in California where you can hide a body. Yeah, I'm telling you, these parents, they did not care about this child. They did not care about Mary whatsoever. They just labeled her a runaway and left. And just left it at that. Never talked about her again. Do not care whatsoever. And then 2003, a lady gets pulled over by the police on routine traffic stop, gives her her ID, and she says, "Yes, I am Mary Day." But by this time, they're calling her Phoenix Mary because she's in Arizona. So they take her into questioning, they get her DNA, and it confirms that she is the biological daughter of Charlotte. But they said Charlotte has kids everywhere. They did. They don't know how many kids Charlotte had because she was just. They said she was whoring around, and so Sherry and Kathy were suspicious of this woman, saying that she was Mary Day, but they couldn't really get any clear evidence that it was really her because they were trying to say because she moved in with Sherry in California and went with her two little kids. And she said, how did you disappear? Do you know anything about your childhood? She only knew a little bit. She only knew a little bit to where the police could say, hey, yeah, this is Mary Day. But she was acting awkward. When they were asking repeated questions, they would be different from previous answers. She became an alcoholic. She tried to commit suicide, all types of stuff. So one day, she just vanished. She just up and left again, back to Arizona, and married a guy named Gleaser. They said he was very abusive, not a good husband. That's all I got on that. And now we fast forward from 20, no, I'm sorry, from 2003 to 2017. Now Mary is dying of cancer. Okay, so Sherry goes to visit her. Again, she's asking her these questions. She has no real recollection of what really happened. So they're just like, okay, well, this really cannot be my sister, but I'm going to accept her as Mary Day because I have no choice because she is connected to my mother. But when she tries to call Mary again, I don't know if Mary was at a nursing home or something, but the people that was around Mary did not want Sherry to contact her again, did not want her to visit after that first visit. They just shunned her off. And then 4 days later, she dies. Mary dies. We don't know the date she dies. We just know she died in 2017 from cancer, and she was 49 years old. And this case still raises questions because to this day, they don't think that that was Mary Day. They think that the father, William Howe, paid somebody to pretend to be Mary Day, another one of Charlotte's unknown daughters. Okay, this is the theory, but it's just bizarre that Mary will be missing all these years and then just pop right back up. And one thing I forgot to mention is that she told Sherry that she's been living with BJ and BJ's husband, and that BJ showed a picture of Mary in 1983 as a 15-year-old. And but they say this could be a picture of anybody, but they don't really know. They just accepted this woman, and that's the bizarre disappearance of Mary Louise Day. We don't know if she's really alive or if she's really dead. But Sherry thinks her sister's been dead for 44 years. Literally, not just 8. But tell me down below what you guys think of this bizarre story, this bizarre disappearance. Because I think this disappearance is still unsolved because they really don't have clear evidence that that was Mary Day. And I think that, in my opinion, to really confirm, they should have dug up her dad's uh, bones and got some DNA from that and compared it to her. I think that would really confirm it instead of just Charlotte's. It's just crazy. Just this is really twist and turn.